Welcome back to Welker Farms. We're going camp and have a good day.
All right, we're gonna do something different today. Or like today and tonight, I'm taking the kids on their first camping trip. What better place to do it than here on Welker Farms? I'm gonna take them to a spot that's been a traditional spot to camp out on the farm for ages. You don't know? What are we gonna do?
Go camping.
We are? Is Mama getting food to go camping? Hot dogs and burgers and brats? Yeah? Oh, fun.
What's broad?
Brat's like a big hot dog. Are we gonna sleep in a tent?
Yeah.
Fun. We're killing our field. Are we driving on it? Yeah. Well, it's not gonna do very good anyways because it needs lots of water. Oh, here's the place. All right. We call this Crabtree's, or as some say, the barn. There's an old barn over there. Roof got torn off it a couple years ago, unfortunately. Someone was gonna take it and reclaim the wood, and well, they just tore the roof off and left the rest. So anyways, but here's our fire pit. So we brought a bunch of rocks in, built around. Oh, there's a big raven in the woods. Bunch of birds here. There's actually some deer usually that hang out in this. This is all a bunch of caragans. This is an old homestead area, and the hedgerow's still here. But this area works really good for camping. So I'll get the weed whacker out, clean this up, burn the old couch, and get the tent set up. Well, my weed eater just ran out of string. Just bought that thing. Thought I had more string than that. So we got a chunk of it done. I don't feel like driving back yet, but I'm sure I'll be making a trip. Let's erect a tent. I haven't set this thing up in like 15 years. I don't know.
We're wondering how many trips we're gonna have to make back to the farm tonight. My guess is 3.
1.
His is 1. What's your guess?
Comment. Levi, what are you doing in here? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You stinker. Come on. What is that doing there? Well, since I found the string, let's see if I can do a little more weed whacking. So this is an old sign. I want to say it was a Motorola sign. It's really unfortunate that it got destroyed here because young and dumb teenagers, we just thought a big piece of metal to throw on top of the fire after we were done having a fire every time for, you know, a little extra safety for runaway fire. Well, that sign would have been cool if kept. But anyways, it's a nice piece of metal. So I'll take it off the fire pit and we'll get stuff lined up, make some food, and get ready to have one amazing camp session. Right, Rosie?
Yeah.
There is actually a top to this old tent that I won at my high school graduation. This is the backup tent, the good tent I couldn't find. But we're not gonna put it on because the top, there's no rain coming for the next foreseeable future. What's going on in there? What are you doing? Oh yeah. So this, we dug down about 1.5 feet, 2 feet. This whole thing had a hole. It's now about 1.5 feet taller than the ground from wood pallets. We burnt probably 10,000 pallets on this thing. It's just pure nails. What do you think, Lee? Fire? You gonna be a pyro someday? No, we're not pyros. Daddy was never one.
No.
Neither was his daddy
Right.
and his daddy. And I'm sure no daddies are pyros, but no, yeah, that's right. No fire. We don't like fire. Yeah, we don't do weird things with fire. Got little kid fingerprints all over my lens. How does that happen? Oh, good job. You know where that goes. Is this your chair? Okay, take a seat. Take a seat. Does Mama need help cooking more hot dogs?
There's your hot dog.
My hot dog.
Is that yummy?
One is beef and one is pork with cheddar.
That one.
Okay.
And I want beef.
Yeah, that one.
I want to cook one beef.
Oh, you want to do marshmallow? Okay. Let's do it. Okay, go to the fire.
Okay. And Dad, you need to come with me.
Yes, I do. There is one thing, though, we haven't really discussed much. I guess it's obvious. But,
Woo!
there's a fourth one coming.
Number 4.
Yeah, we don't know what it is yet, but we are excited about it.
Yeah.
And I planned it so it happens right during harvest, because that's when we like to have babies.
Yeah, we just gotta make it more interesting.
It's an excuse to get off the combine, go to the hospital, and eat a steak.
Yep.
You know.
We're due very soon.
So anyways, yes, new Welker on the way.
A girl.
You want a girl?
A girl.
What kind of girl?
It's Amy.
A pretty girl?
Uh-huh.
Okay, we'll do a pretty girl.
Let us know what your guess is.
Yeah, what do you guys think it's gonna be?
Yeah.
Let us know down below. You know the drill. You gotta point at yourself. Now hold it.
Okay.
Now look at yourself. See yourself? Pointing the wrong way. You gotta point towards yourself. There. It doesn't go high enough. All right, first person to guess this one gets a heart, if I remember to do that. But you guys know this one.
Mommy, can't get down. Mommy, I want to get down.
You guys are supposed to be sleeping. All right, guys, it's time for another crop tour. Let's go look at some fields. Disclosure, could be depressing. All right, first up, spring wheat. This was seeded within the first 4 days or so of spring wheat planting. It's dry. It's hurting really bad. Really bad. This should be, you know, up my thigh by now, almost to my bottom of my pockets, and it's not. It's short. Our last rain was a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago, at 3,500s, and before that was a little over 2 inches in May. We are officially now the driest month of June in our 30 years of keeping records on the farm. 30 years, we've never had a June this dry. The only reason there's even a crop here is because in May we had above average rain. But that doesn't last. There's not much submoisture because we didn't get it last fall. Our snow was low, and it's burning up. So see this plant right here? It's got 3 heads, no 4. It's gonna push 4 heads off this thing. 4, that should have like 10 off one seed. The tillers are just not happening, and the heads themselves are pretty short. And here's the thing, just because there's a head there doesn't mean there's even seed in there yet. It hasn't even started growing the seed. That's gonna happen here soon. And it's gonna need water to grow those kernels inside those heads. So there can be heads and nothing inside. And I've seen that before. You're cutting 2 bushels an acre and it looks like a 30 bushel crop. It didn't have a chance to finish the heads out. The thing that might be saving us a little bit here is because it was stressed so early on, it didn't overgrow. You can see how short it is. So it's putting as much effort as it can into producing grain, and that's the amazing thing about wheat. That's why we grow it here in years like this. So I don't know. Ruling's out. If I were to guess right now what I think this field's going to yield, somewhere between 10 and 15 bushels an acre would be my guess. I hope I'm surprised. If we get around that 20, that would be amazing. You can see here, see these bottom leaves? See how they're all brown? That's the plant firing off the leaves. It's basically cutting the leaves dry. It's rather than putting any energy into this to keeping this green and growth, it's cutting them off so that way all the energy goes into the plant itself instead of the leaves. Really neat how wheat does that. But again, look how short that is. The heads should be like way up here. You should be able to see the plant like, I don't know. Anyways, it's bad. Now see this right here? See it's all brown? That's wild oats. I sprayed that. See how it's right there, all that brown, dead? That is why we sprayed, because we had to take care of that, because that is throughout the whole field. All right, let's move on to peas. Jump the pickup, let's go. This is one of our pea fields. These are yellow peas, and they have been flowering for about a week and a half. Really early. And let me tell you something. These things are short. Oh, they're so short. It's amazing how stunted they are. They did not get the growth on them. It is unbelievable. Compared to last year, I couldn't walk through these things. I literally couldn't. They were up to my waist, intertwined. Peas are very viney, and I lost my crock. Of course I'm wearing Crocs. Why wouldn't I be? As I was saying, these things are very viney and difficult to walk through. But the difference this year is 12 inches tall. It's gonna be header dragging. We're gonna be dragging a lot of header. Now, they've definitely podded, as you can see. Lots of pods on them. They're tasty. Very tasty. I'm gonna have to pick a few of these. They're still flowering. I don't see a lot of flowers left. That one's got some there. Some of these, like those ones are burnt off right there. Those are no good. Flowers turn into pods. More flowers, more pods. More pods, more opportunity for peas. More opportunity for peas, more bushels, more money. So we want flowers. Flowers are really good. I think we're getting towards the end of our flowering stage. Now, next week, no way they're gonna flower. It's just not gonna happen. 100 degrees, bye-bye flowers. They can't take that heat. Last year, that's what got us the bushels we had. That's why we had a record pea crop, is because it stayed cool for the whole time they flowered. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. This was the first crop we planted, so it has the best chance because it's had the earliest of the rains while it's to mature. So, but it looks like, honestly, there's quite a few pods out here. If they fill, we might be pleasantly surprised with our pea crop. I hope so. Oh, it's good. Let's do some pod counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pods on that plant. Last year we had 7 to 10. 3 pods on that one. 3 pods. 4. With 2 flowers that potentially could be pods, but I'm very doubtful they're gonna turn into pods at this stage. So 4 pods is the average pod count per plant. And they just say hypothetically they fill. Last year we had 7 to 10 pods a plant. That's like a less than 50% loss compared to last year. Well, if last year we grew 35 to 40 bushel peas, you're looking at like 12 to 15 bushels. Now here's the downside to this. We contracted 10 bushels an acre of all of our peas at a certain price because we thought it was a good price, and it was a good price. The problem was the price went up a lot more, and it's still going up. Well, we're not gonna have extra peas to sell at that price. And here's the second part to that. It's gonna get kind of sketchy because when if we grow 10 bushels an acre of peas, we need at least 2 to 3 bushels an acre to make enough seed to grow next year's crop. So that means we need 13, 14 bushels an acre, and we hope that the seed's good quality too. Otherwise, we're gonna have to buy seed next year, and there goes your profits on a lot of your pea crop. So, yeah, not a good situation to be in right now. Remember guys, when I did that deep ripping with that Umberfirth Zone Builder, had the big bud? I don't know if you guys can see it right now. You can see lines where the rippers, shanks, blades, cut on each pass. And then over here, there's nothing. You know, it's really hard to say how much result we got from that. Being a drought year, what advantage did it really give the crop? Because it turned the soil over, so there was any moisture there, it lost it, and there was never any rain to really replenish the ground with it. So I really think it's a tough year to put that machine in actual real world testing, because this is just not a great year. The other thing is too, we didn't get a chance to cultivate the field after we ripped it. We should have, but we loaned our our plow, we call it, our Flex Coil 60-foot plow with a 60-foot coil packer behind it, to some friends of ours literally 2 years ago It broke on their farm. They still haven't fixed it and got it back to us. So we had nothing to work the ground that we deep ripped. So we had plans to do it, but the ground I think should have been worked after it deep ripped and leveled some of those humps over. We'll get that thing back eventually here, but yeah, it'd have been good to do that. All right, let's go to the next field. Now for the new crop, canola. Man, we have a heck of a standout here. It is unbelievable how well this came up. It did get that big rain, snow on it. We had just seeded it. We thought it wasn't coming up very well. Oh, it came up too well. It is thick. This is a 40+ bushel canola crop. 50 if you got the rain. I have no idea what it's gonna make right now. It's just starting to flower. It's gonna be 90 tomorrow. Like I said, the next week straight of 100 degrees. I hear these things don't like heat, just like peas. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how these things handle this heat. These have tap roots. I ripped it off, you can't really tell. That can drive way down in the ground to try to access sub-moisture. That's one reason why we were so excited to try canola, was the fact that it can access nutrients and moisture that other crops can't. So, I don't know. You canola guys probably have a better idea, but 3 inches of rain with very little sub-moisture to begin with, you think it's got a chance? Fighting chance flowering in 100-degree weather for 5 days straight? A little wind? Leave me a comment below and tell me what you think it's gonna do. If it did 5 to 10 bushel an acre, I'd be amazed. But I don't know. Sure looks good though. Oh, it looks good. A lot of plants out there. A lot of plants. These leaves are huge. Oh, the cover's amazing. I really like this stuff. Guess we'll find out when we harvest it if we still like it, but at least we don't have to be dragging the ground. Now, another bad thing about growing canola right here is by the time I got to spraying it, because I was spraying everything else, the wind changed direction on me. This is my neighbor's field. That's canola. This is spring wheat. That's canola. This is grass. That's broadleaf. I was spraying herbicide that kills grass in the broadleaf. That drifted into my neighbor's spring wheat. And you can see a little bit, I don't know if you can tell the camera, a little brown haze about 100, 200 feet in down this whole thing. I don't know how bad it dinged some of his leaves. It might still yield okay, but I bet it knocked a couple bushel or two off the top. So I'll call him and tell him that he can swing into our field a little bit and cut a couple bushels out of our field to make it right. But I hate doing that. I hate knocking out neighbors' fields, let alone our own. But he's a good guy. The sad part is I just got done raving about him not spraying into our field because he was leaving about a boom width or two, which I did. The winds were just bad when I sprayed. We'll see though. I don't know. It's a different herbicide. I don't know how well it's gonna affect it. Might not be that bad. Uh-oh. I got another neighbor. See the top of his leaves burning it off? Yeah, I spiked that too, but he got us, so we're even. I'll show you. See that right there? Whole sprayer width. And then right about here, oh, I forgot to turn it off. Click off, driving across. See, so we're even. They took out about 3 acres. I took about an acre out. It's all good. But here's the thing. What they sprayed was our barley. And out of all the crops, that's probably the sickliest right now. So we seeded yellow peas, spring wheat, barley, canola in that order. The earliest stuff has the advantage because it had the moisture in the beginning of the season. The latest stuff has a disadvantage because by the time we got it planted, it didn't catch some of the early rains and it's not mature, taking advantage of the little bit of moisture that's left in the ground. 10,000 acres was tough to do with 2 drills in a short time. That's why our canola is so far behind. This is our barley. Just about to start kicking some heads out. Another week, be seeing heads across all this. I don't know. It's suffering. It's hurting. Doesn't show it that bad right now, but it's gonna turn really quick. My dad thinks it's just gonna become a hay crop. We'll see. I don't know. Barley is kind of new to us too. It might surprise us with what it can do, but again, unlikely gonna yield that well. Our first spring wheat and our peas might break even, might come out on top. The rest of this stuff, hard to say. Well, one thing that's nice, I've got the windows up in the pickup because the AC is on, because it's 90 degrees outside, and well, I really don't want to get, you know, heat scorched. But there's also another reason why I have my windows up right now, and that's this. Thousands of bees are right there. That's just, let's just back up nice and slow. My neighbor's canola field, which is flowering very nicely, is getting a good dose of honeybees. Some bee growers or honey producers drop some bees off here intentionally. The bees are doing an awesome job pollinating that canola, and they're gonna make some good honey off of it. It's a win-win for both guys. Just keep your windows up and don't drive too fast. We don't want to kill bees. Bees are good. All right, let's talk some stuff here. So, full disclosure, I don't know what the end result is. I don't know what the yields are gonna be. We won't know until the last bin door is buttoned shut and every acre's harvested. That's just the bottom line. But judging from our experience and from what we've seen, it's gonna be a tight year. I don't know if we're gonna break even this year. I think we might have a loss. We'll see. There are fail-safes to an extent. There's farm programs that we're a part of that we pay into with a premium, and if you get below a certain amount of bushels per acre, it'll kick out a payment. It's not a great payment, but it's basically a I don't lose everything payment, so hopefully gives you a chance to make back maybe some of your inputs that you put into growing the season, but you don't make money on it. So no, we don't have like a high insurance plan that's gonna pay us a bunch of money for having a drought year, because if there was a thing, your premiums would be so high that you wouldn't collect on it 9 out of 10 years, and the money that you would spend those 9 out of 10 years would greatly overshadow the bunch you get on that 1 year that it pays out. Now, other thing is, we planted the whole farm, which means it's continuous crop, which means that we get a lower payout because it pays less for continuous crop compared to crop fallow like we used to do, where you chem fallow half the land and crop the other half. You get a higher payout. So like spring wheat's 18 bushels an acre, roughly, for a 30 bushel crop, it'll pay out. So if you get below 18 bushels an acre, they start paying you. Well, because we did continuous crop on the farm, it's like 65% less of that. So it ends up being like, what is that? I don't know, 10, 12 bushels an acre, something like that. So we basically have to get below 10 to 12 bushels an acre on our spring wheat to even see any kind of payment. And then it isn't like a full, like, okay, here you got below the threshold, here's a big check. No, it's like they pay you per bushel below that. So if you get, say it's 8, 10 bushels is the cutoff, where below they start paying you about 10 bushels an acre, and you get 9, that means they pay you 1 bushel an acre at a certain price. So it's not like they pay you 10 bushels. So bottom line is, guys, it's really discouraging. It's really discouraging to see this go the way it is. And we're not the only ones. A large portion of the United States is suffering this kind of drought. It's sad to see this happen. There's gonna be a lot of guys that were hoping to have this be the year. The reason we thought it was gonna be the year, the reason I pushed so hard to see the entire farm, to have crop on everything, was because commodity prices are just going up and up and up, which is also a direct result of yields going down, 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 and they're seeing this drought, so now everything's worth a ton because they realize they're not gonna have a lot this fall. Now, let's count our blessings. There's a crop out there. We've got equipment to harvest it. We've got manpower. Brad, the Wiggly Wagster, is okay. He got bit by a rattlesnake. Poor guy went into a shock. Turns out he's allergic to rattlesnake venom. I think he lost a little bit of his thumb from the bite, but other than that, he's gonna be able to drive truck for us this year. So that's good. The other blessing we have is commodity prices are high, which means that we don't have to have a lot of bushels to bring back money. So that's where it's hard to say what it'll finally be in the end, because if we may get a lot per bushel, then you don't need as many bushels to come out okay. But it's not going to be a let's you know, go to Jamaica for a month because we're just rolling in cash here. One last thing, guys. As a believer, I know that everything that we've done ultimately is in the Lord's hands, and we can put as much work and effort in, but it's ultimately up to his plan what happens here on this earth. And he has blessed our lives deeply, and I don't know what's going to happen this year, but I know for sure that there is some serious good things coming down the road, and I can rest in peace knowing that one way or another will be taken care of and life will go on. There's a lot more important things out there than growing a crop, like raising some beautiful kids. So let's go do that right now. See you guys later. Take care. God bless. See you in the next one.